Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to get started on the Storm Collectibles JIN KAZAMA from Tekken. And while Jin himself is not like the most charismatic, energetic character, he comes from a long line of people whooping your ass and a series of whooping your ass. We didn't love Jin because he was stoic. We loved Jin because he literally beats you the hell up. And that's kind of why I love Jin as a character. Like, I mean, he got way more characteristics and like stuff by like Tekken 6, but he's still not the most liked character, and that's fine. Like, if you look at him next to Law or Paul Phoenix, who have like a lot of character, he just never came off as if he had it. But that doesn't mean he wasn't giving out hands since Tekken 3, because he was, and that's kind of why I love this character. Storm gave us a proper iteration of him, whereas you can use this outfit pretty much from Tekken 3 or Tekken 7 or Tekken Tag Tournament, which is great. I like what they did with him. I know some people don't really like the face sculpt, but I think it's pretty accurate to a stoic character, especially if you're going by the character model designs. So without further ado, let's take a look at him and take a look at the articulation. Let's do it. Now, as you can see here, it's pretty much modeled close up, like with a nice musculatory design, and definitely the face sculpt of the stoic Jin. It even captured like the hairstyle, which goes up like a Super Saiyan. I don't know how much gel that's ever going to take to get it to stay up like that, but it does. You know what I mean? We have our muscles, we have our gauntlets, which actually can move. They're not like just stabbed on. They're not like glued on. The gauntlets themselves can be removed. You can actually rotate our gi part, not our gi, our belt. And the legs have a fully functional articulation, as well as modified parts of the ankles, which I know Kazuya suffered from it, because even though it was decent, it just didn't help in certain places. But this one heavily improves on that. We'll get to that in a second. We're going to talk about our head articulation, which can go up, we can go down. And as you can see here, it's going to be one of those, it's going to be squeaky because that's the way the plastic is. And I did not add any silicone shock oil yet, because I always want to make sure you guys get the, the first impressions from me. Even though I had a blast, like, taking photos of this, and I didn't even care about that. So let's add a little bit of extra light. As you can see, our head can look down as well. We can hit our arms in a T-pose with no problem whatsoever. We do have our butterfly joint, which allows you to press your arms forward. You can rotate all the way around. We have bicep swivel as well. And even though our arms are double jointed, the musculatory system here isn't soft, so it doesn't allow you to press in even further on the arm. We had the similar peg rotation, and like I said, the gauntlets can be removed. So if you wanted to customize your Jin or add certain stuff, it's easily, very much possible, as our gauntlets are removable. They also allow you to rotate and have a better room for articulation, which I really, really like. As far as our upper torso goes, we can shift left, shift right, and it's reversed obviously for you guys as you see this, right? And as you see, that head pops off, and that's because you see our upper torso has lifted. And with our upper torso lifting, you got to push down. This will allow you for extra articulation when you press forward though. So even though there'll be a gap in the back, this will allow you to have the very nice ab crunch that you normally get with all your Storm collectibles. This is just something you can just easily press back down and have no issues, and then pop your head back on. This is because usually all the soft plastic just rises up. As you can see, the neck peg came back down. This is going to allow you to just pop that right back on with no problem. Let's fix our, oh, by the way, the under torso right here allows you to have even more ab crunch and rotate around with no issue. Our legs can spread out pretty far, as you can see. Like, as you can see, they're getting really, really far. And you can actually rotate this to the point where I believe you can hit a flat split, or just a straight up, like, 90-degree angle. I'm sorry, you can hit the 180 flat. Pretty much close enough, probably like 178 at most. You do get a thigh swivel as well. You do have a double jointed knee. This is as far as it goes because of the gi and the way the plastic is, and that's totally fine by me. You can still get most of those good moves out of him. And like I was saying, that really, really good ankle pivot that they fixed, oh man, this came out really nice. They left the opening here so you can get forward, right? You can go backwards. You can actually rotate in and out with no problem. And there's still toe pivot with the gauntlet here to protect, so you have those protectors across the knee. So getting poses with Jin literally should be no problem, as he can balance as well too. Oop. Here I am trying to do poses with one hand and remembering my mic. So let's do a standard side kick, right? As you see here, Jin can hit it with no problem. I've posed him up a lot, so he might not be able to stand as I've probably worn out his joints at this point. But I'm going to try it anyway, right? No, he can hit it. He can hit it. So yeah, I like this. He can definitely hit the articulation. He can hit the moves. This is something I very much like. So let's see. Even with making him look good, right? Getting him in some certain stances. This is really, really good. For those of you that like Jin or play with Jin a lot like myself, this is easily going to be one of your favorite characters as Storm just continues to grow and get better. So anything that they feel like they have done wrong, they try to right later on with a bunch of stuff. And I feel like this is definitely them improving on what was Kazuya as a first take. And this it doesn't end up being the same clone. You know what I mean? I really like what they did with this. But without further ado, now that we've talked about the look and articulation a little bit, let's go to talking about our accessories. So let's take a step back and try it out. All right, now we're going to get into these accessories. So let's get to it. First, we'll obviously go over our hands. Let's make that pretty simple. We have our, let me actually get a little bit of focus on them. There we go. So we have our martial arts hands. These have our our index and middle fingers out. Practitioner. You can also use these as the counter hands, because when you use the back 1, 3, and 2, 4, this preps them for the stance of doing the counter back in Tekken 3 as well as in Tekken 7. We have our open action grapple hands. These will get you through the day. You can use these as action or grapple hands depending on what you want to do. You can use these as well as force palms. Force palms. There I go. So yeah. And then we have our open action hands. These are not relaxed at all, but these are action hands. See? Our head sculpts, we will get an open yelling head. And like I said, it's not like he is literally like the best at displaying emotion. So that's why it's something I always laughed at, because it just don't carry over well for him. You know what I mean? So here we are with it. We have our open action head. I'm sorry, open action head. We have our yelling head. There I go. This is our yelling sculpt, right? Then we have our clenched teeth sculpt. This one I think is a lot better. This one is more accurately portrayed of Jin. The whole open mouth thing he doesn't really do too often, but this one actually works a lot better. There we go. Next up, and lastly, because he doesn't come with much at all, but it's a fun figure all the way. You'll see in all the photos. I had fun practicing Tekken moves in real life. We have our, I'm going to call this probably his Rage Art Fist, because while he doesn't really do with the electricity like as much as he used to in Tekken 3, 4, and 5, this is probably your Rage Art. And I love it because this can be used on either fist. You actually just pop in the fist. Oop, I had one of my lights things stuck on it. And soft plastic, so you don't have to worry too much about breaking it. But it does open up in parts where you can store the hand. So you can store the hand through here, or right here in this part. It actually lights up very well with light through it. So you can see here, it lights up really, really well. That's going to be really good for a lot of photos. Can't wait. Probably not going to do too many, not out the gate, but some. So yeah. So that's it for accessories. And now we're going to jump into size comparison. But one thing I want to add, and it was pretty cool, but I forgot to talk about it, is that Jin's gauntlets, right, as well as moving, they are soft plastic. I just want to add that on. So don't worry about breaking them if they clash up against something. They're soft plastic, so you don't have much to worry about there. And now we're going to jump into the size comparison. Let's get to it. We're going to do some Storm Collectible stuff first, and then we'll move into some other stuff. First up is going to be Final Battle Kazuya Mishima. Let's see, there we go. Looks pretty good next to Jin. I think they actually look really well if you're going to do some Final Battle stuff. Then we're going to do Hayachi Mishima. Probably one of the world's most famous old men. and he actually got shorter with age as he got buffer, right? So here are these three, looking pretty good. I don't see them being too much alike, but enough alike design wise that everybody kind of fits in pretty well. So if we remove these two, right? Let's go with let's do Akuma, aka Goki. So we're gonna do him. I wonder if they're gonna do Oni now that they've announced Evil Ryu, which is pretty cool, right? So here's Akuma next to Jin, right? Looks pretty good. Then we'll do Scorpion as we mix it up with the Storm stuff. So we mix up our franchises, right? And as you see, Scorpion's always the smallest one for some reason. I don't know what that's about. Maybe he's a short guy. Maybe he's a tall guy. We'll never really know. Maybe we'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. So here he is with Street Fighter V's Ryu. And actually, Ryu is actually pretty small too, next to Jin. But because I want to throw him in there, we're going to throw my main man Sagat in there just for fun, as we test him out next to one of the tall guys, that being Sagat. And you see that Sagat, being as tall as he is, makes everybody look tiny. So it works itself out, right? Let's remove these. Now we're going to compare to some other stuff to show you how Jin looks. First things first, Mezco Ichigo. He can be a Yoshimitsu stand-in, as he is smaller but cuter, right? In case you was curious and you wanted to test out the SHF Street Fighter stuff, here is Ken, who also look absolutely tiny, right? Just doesn't work in this way, right? My ever-growing pile grows bigger. Here we are with an SHF Kamen Rider XL. Wow, I'm tongue-tied today. I don't know what it is. Here we are with a Marvel Legends Spider-Man, right? Then we have an Articulated Icons Ninja, right? So everybody's looking really, really tiny. We have a Hasbro Lightning Collection White Ranger, who's a little bit bigger, but still not up with the Storm stuff, right? But last but not least, the one thing I know that probably will work well with them is going to be Mythic Legions. This is a 1.0 body, so they actually work pretty well with the Storm collectible stuff, right? But yeah, overall, I think Jin is a much needed boost in our Tekken friendship that we have going on with Storm. I can't wait because I'm super excited for King. Literally cannot wait to Powerbomb and Cobra Clutch any and everyone in sight. I'm gonna have a good time with him. But just getting Jin kind of boosts my spirits in what I thought that was going to be a dwindling line of Tekken, which I'm happy it's still going strong. It really is. Jin's like my third favorite character, King being the first, and second you'll find out soon enough. But yeah, it's really exciting to see that they're still going. And Jin just worth a lot of fun. I do hope you guys enjoy the photos at the end. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.